Our old friend Wes Welker was on the radio in Boston today, and he said, he'd be open to the idea of going back and playing for the Patriots. Do you think there's any chance that will happen? And whether it's the Patriots or any place else, how much does Wes Welker have left as a football player?
I think he's got one more season in the right role, kid. Obviously, he'd want to go back to New England. It's where he put together a potential Hall of Fame resume as a slot receiver. He's going to go down as the best slot receiver of all time when he retires in terms of yards and catches. And he and Tom Brady are close. So I just don't know where the fit is there with Edelman and Amendola. I don't know the fit there. I don't know. I think he'd be unhappy, and he's had issues with Belichick. That's the issue. And now Brandon, Spike's buried the hatchet with the hoodie, as he said, and his back. But I don't know how Welker fits. They need Spike. I don't know that they necessarily need Welker. I do believe he has another year left. I thought the Dolphins was a potential fit, but they were, they moved in a different direction. And so Welker it's gonna get down to probably the very end where he has one or two teams on make good contracts. And it's unfortunate because if it weren't for the concussions, he'd have 10 suitors. But it's because of the concussions that teams are leery, and understandably so, because he's one hit away from possibly not playing anymore. But, I like Wes Welker. I love how tough he is, the way he plays, but it's come at a huge cost, and it's probably ultimately going to shorten his career.
I'll tell you who he's going to end up with. You want to know? San Diego Chargers, Mike McCoy. They're going to bring him in and make him their slot receiver. He's got good hands. I think he does have one more year left. I think Phillip Rivers would love him.
Broncos have no interest there, do they, Troy?
They're just not a fit right now. Now, could things change, in camp, or somebody doesn't look as good as they hope, or, I think there's less of a chance now than there was last week with Clady going down, because I think we're going to see less three wide. I think early in the season, again, this is speculation, but, I thought Cody Latimer's going to have a breakout season, but he may not make an impact until a little later, until they figure out the offensive line.
Yeah.
They could go two wide receivers and throw an extra tackle in there in those first few games until they figure it out. Now, maybe they all accelerate and it clicks in camp, but, let's be honest. If Ty Sambrailo is their starting left tackle, they might put another tackle next to him, whether it's Harris or Clark or whomever, to protect him, and that means less of three wide. So I would think they didn't have much interest in West, months ago. I would say it's less now because of the way the roster is.
That's a great point, Troy. Hey, let us know if anything happens out of Dove Valley. Will you give us a call?
You got it. I will.
All right,
Always
Troy
a pleasure to be on with you guys.
Thanks, Troy. Troy Renck of the Denver Post.